Hey you guys, okay, so today we are just talking really fast about gratitude. And this is probably one of my favorite things because this is what I revert to, like when I'm having a really a rough time or I'm in a negative mindset, I revert to trying to just get a little bit more grateful. I'm not perfect at this. This is kind of one of those things that you can tell yourself like, oh, I should just do this. It will be easy. And then your brain will give you all kinds of reasons why you shouldn't do it or why it's not going to help or X, Y, and Z. So gratitude, why is it important? Well, here's the thing. It's impossible for our brains to focus on being grateful and being anxious at the same time. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that if you can really just sit in gratitude, in effective gratitude, not just like I'm grateful for the sky, I'm grateful for my house, like effective gratitude where you're meditating or where you are really just like trying to remember the details of a positive experience, writing those down, writing down 3 new things that you're grateful for or 3 experiences that you're grateful for. These are things that actually challenge our brain and program our brain to start to look for the positive. And so then we tend to get into slumps a little bit less each time that we do this. And it's one of these kinds of things that actually has a cumulative effect. So what does that mean? Basically, that means that if you write down 3 things that you're grateful for every single day, or if you write down 1 positive experience from the day before, or if you write it down at night, then from the current day, writing down and reflecting on that positive experience, reflecting in that way where you're just able to dwell on the gratitude, it helps cumulatively or over time, like kind of builds on itself, and it helps your brain start to look for the positive. So that's what we want. We want our brains to be able to be more aware and be more focused on the good rather than getting stuck down in the muck, so to speak. So the challenge for today is just to find some simple way that you can get more grateful. Even if it's just taking a few minutes and just looking through, I love looking through my Facebook memories. Like if I'm really having a hard time and I don't want to sit down and write in my journal, I will just go through my Facebook memories, or I'll go through a photo book of my kids and just try and remember some of those happy experiences that you documented, because they're there in your brain. And if you could just give them a little bit of a positive reminder kind of trigger, then what happens is you start to feel those feelings that you felt on the day that you watched your kids, go down the slide for the first time, or that you went to the snow and visited family, or, whatever the positive experience is for you. But we want to just cumulatively give your brain space to just focus on and find the positives. And what happens is that when you start to train your brain to do this, even just for 5 minutes a day, then your brain will start to see it in other areas of your life. Instead of just the intentional place and space that you do it for 5 minutes, you're going to start to see it in other places too. So if it helps you, you can comment below the video, or you can email me back and just tell me okay, what are a couple things that I'm grateful for? Here's my 3. Or something that was a positive experience from the day before. If you had a rough day, I promise if you look for something that was good that happened, or that was a learning experience, or that something that made you laugh, you will find it. Couple other things that I like to do. And these are not things that I do every single day, but here's the thing. Gratitude is a practice. It does not have to be a rigid ritual. It's a practice. It's you physically and mentally practice doing it over time and consistently. So you might attach it to another habit. Maybe you practice gratitude while you're brushing your teeth and you just sit there and just dwell on a positive experience. The point is just to do it regularly and to help your brain start to get into this place. But something that I like to do is I like to write down the funny things that my kids say. Kids say super funny things all the time. And so just writing down those things and then talking to my husband about them the next day or later that day. We have a journal that we call a quotes and quips journal for our family, where we just write down funny things, funny experiences, funny moments, funny things that our kids say. And then at the end of the year, our plan is to go through and just revisit that journal. And it's just it's such a fun experience to kind of program those to get stuck in your brain, because when you write it down, it actually creates a neural pathway in your brain that helps it to remember it and to be able to recall it faster other times. So that's the challenge for today. Get grateful, live in the gratitude space, and just recognize that if you are grateful and you're regularly tuning back into gratitude, you're going to feel better. I promise.